The problem is that like when you sell your house, nobody else would want it. So it's like really funny in theory for weirdos like you and me, but nobody's actually going to go through with it, I think, unless you're like really mean to your kids.
If I could change my name this moment, it would be first name, last name.
Imagine your firstborn son, you'll call him first name.
Just imagine filling out any form. It says, what's your first name? First name. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that.
Wow, that'd be really funny the first time.
No, that's the...
And then the next
anybody that reads that
times
is going to be new, right? So it's a new experience for them. Of course, it's going to continue to be hilarious for me because I like recycling old memes and whatnot. But this is
I don't know, man, this one.
A very important game. As Z-Freak, Nightmare not quite in range, so DNM's going to stun himself. But game number 3.
30 seconds to battle.
It's a spooky moment, all right. That's for sure. But maybe Nouns can do it. I think a lot of this game comes down to how well Lifestealer does against the Viper, potentially. Right now, they're looking to dodge the lanes, is what we're looking at, by putting Coastability in the off lane. Tentatively. But with that said, Nouns has played this matchup many times before and they've won it. Playing Lifestealer against Viper, it is one of the better solutions against the Viper offlane that I have seen. But if they completely dodge it, then who cares? Maybe there'll be some lane swap stuff, but and runes are equal 2 and 2. So totally fine for both squads. Gunner's mid Pango has had a lot of success in the past. We've definitely seen Nico's Kunkka do well. He did great in both games. So I wouldn't be surprised to see something similar out of him. But I don't know, once Pango gets roll, that won't be much of a counter. That's one upside to them, I guess.
Yep, that is true. Do you think the Bane is going to be enough this game to stop? I mean, the panel kind of talked about it. In theory, it's good against multiple things in this game, right? It goes through the BKB of the Rage Lifestealer. It goes through the ult for Gunner. But more importantly, it's the only solution for BKB Black Hole. But the problem is, I mean, will you be in range? You're going to have to go Aether Lens, and the positioning is going to be super important for Albino Zebra, because the later this game goes, the more it favors Enigma, at least historically speaking.
Yeah, and like they pointed out on the panel, there's a lot of things that Bane wants to grip. It's not just Black Hole. It's also catching Rolling Thunder. It's also gripping Lifestealer after he uses Enrage if you feel comfortable right-clicking him. And certainly Alchemist is a hero that can kill Lifestealer through Enrage because he has a high amount of physical damage, but it might be a bit tough. We'll see about that. That was a cool thing that happened, actually. Gunner, I believe, was the one that bought the Sentry Ward that Z-Freak used to D-Ward, and thus he gets the gold for it. So that's a cool way to accelerate Gunner a little bit faster and get his bottle moving at minute 1:20 seconds.
What's Lifestealer's first skill called again, without looking at it?
Rage,
okay, because you called it Enrage several times. I'm like, that is Ursa, my friend, okay? Lifestealer is a different beast. He has Ghoul Frenzy, the best passive in Dota. And by that, I mean the worst.
You don't like Feast?
Feast is good. It used to be better, though.
Frenzy ain't bad.
The old Feast was a much better spell, for sure. It did a lot more damage.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. It was like the Pudge counter. Lifestealer was like, it was impossible to play Pudge against Lifestealer. Not that it wasn't good to play Pudge anyways, but really tough for Albino Zebra. They skilled Nightmare, actually. He's really kind of screwed in this lane.
He's going to have to use it, but let's see if it comes at any cost. Concoction actually goes off as Albino Zebra pops the Fairy Fire, and at least the first blood going the way of him. So nicely done, but he dies shortly after, so 1 for 1.
It was a really cool attempt by Husky to try to take the Nightmare off of himself, to be invulnerable for that second, to try to dodge a stun, but they outplayed a little bit and get the first blood. But yeah, tough to play Bane without Brain Sap. He's got it now, luckily. So now his trading of hits will go a little bit better. But the fact that they got the first blood first was a really nice start for them. And more items for Alchemist as well, so pretty perfect for DNM. I would not be upset if I was him. He's got less hits than Coastability does, though. That part's tough. In fact, Ghoul Frenzy, very powerful in these laning circumstances, because now he can just run down the Alchemist.
Yep, Lifestealer is good against Alch. Obviously, back in the day, he would do more damage, but the fact that he's regenning with, I mean, not yet, but with Chemical Rage means that Lifestealer will be regenning more as he continues to click him, because it's based off that max HP, but Gunner, or the current HP, I should say, Gunner taking a lot of damage in the mid lane to that Tidebringer. You see the discrepancy here, 18-4 to 12-3. I mean, kind of expected. Pango's not the greatest laner, but Kunkka's really good against melee heroes specifically.
I mean, they've done a great job zoning DNM still. Every time he tries to go for a last hit, Lifestealer walks up. They have a pretty comparable base damage. more or less. But having the slow advantage plus feast makes it easy to chase him down.
Yep, some concoction action going into the top or to the bot lane as Husky taking quite a bit of damage. And
he really needs Cold Embrace.
Is this a Radiance game for Mr. Alchemist? Is there any other build these days? Is Albino Zebra taking heavy damage? That cheese is not going to keep him alive. Okay, never mind, it will.
Very close.
The taunt definitely kept him alive.
Yeah, Radiance is the only build that I've seen Alchemists buy, unless maybe there's some like offlaner that does weird things, but almost exclusively every single time Alchemist buys typical build, even if they're offlane. Radiance builds, the only way they differentiate maybe is the boots. Sometimes they go phase, sometimes they go treads, but... So yeah, tough lane for him. In fact, he's rushing his soul ring so that he can jungle. He knows that staying in this lane isn't really realistic, so this is one nice thing going for Nouns right now. That Costability is going to be able to force Alk to jungle a little earlier. The only downside, though, is that with the exception of probably Clockwork and maybe Pango, they don't really have a support that can go follow the Alk through the jungle. So that part might be tough to like go annoy him. Winter Wyvern's not really a great hero for that. So that won't be quite the same.
Now, let's see, once he gets this soul ring, which is purchased now, let's see how fast he does go into that jungle. And if that happens, do Nouns try to, like, how good is their lineup at actually disrupting that farm in the jungle?
Yeah, like I said, it's not very good. It's basically Clockwork, maybe Pango rotations. The Wyvern is slow, so not so good at it.
Giant gets off the avalanche here. And he's going to take some damage from the battery assault from Z-Freak, as Moo is basically playing the carry Enigma, at least the safe lane for this start of the game. 17 and 13 for the CS, but you can see that this time around, Speed is getting quite good CS because of the lane changes here. Not able to get kills, but definitely good in the CS department.
Yep. Breaks a little clarity here and there. And yeah, he's getting decent farm, but I think this is fine. As long as Viper isn't getting kills, you're not super concerned. You obviously want to be somewhat competitive in terms of the lane, but if we compare the levels, Enigma does have more experience due to the creeps that he's been denying. Little toss back. He's going to have the TP here on Enigma to live, maybe. Oh, he doesn't have one. Oh, that's not good.
Continue to take right clicks. A nice cog, though, actually blocking in Speed, but it does lead to the kill from Z-Freak. But at the very least, on the side of 5RAT, is Gunner gonna get Cold Embrace, and that will actually save his life. So end up being a 1-for-1 in the top lane, but the XP going the way of Viper, so 5RAT will take that for sure.
Yeah, nice. Definitely pretty far ahead on the Kunko once again. Part of this is small camps. It's going to be even higher now too, picking up another 6 here. But if we compare their net worth, yeah, Kunko is significantly ahead of Gunner, actually. He's 1,000 net worth up. That's not looking great for Gunner. But he does turn 6, and it all comes down to what he uses with his levels. And he's going to use some top TPs at the top lane. If he can get a good kill on Viper, this would be great.
Yep, Z-Freak starts the initiation. Moo is in the area, gets off the Malefice. The TP from Giant is not going to be enough to save Speed. But it will lead to the kill onto Z-Freak, but definite trade going the way of Nouns. Albino Zebra now. You can see Gunner gets off the shield crash, but not able to get much more off. Still has the ult to work with. And I assume this is going to be, I mean, is there any other build than... Oh, there is. He's going... Is that actual Arcane Boots coming out for him? Okay.
On Pango?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he'll just farm really fast with it. It's either that or some Soul Ring type build, and Arcanes is just a lot of mana regen. Dude, Z-Freak got away with murder. Like, actually got away with murder getting that kill. His last battery assault pick that he needed to get that kill, there was 3 melee creeps next to him, and he happened to catch the Viper there. It would have forced... Pango probably still would have gotten the kill, but the fact that Z-Freak got the experience now. He's level 5 as Clock at 7 minutes. That was after getting the effective solo kill on Viper after training with Enigma. Like, that's actually pretty good for Nouns, because Enigma can definitely catch up. Jungling or doing whatever, slowing down creep waves. But Z-Freak with this 3 points in battery assault right now, it's a huge amount of damage. And we're talking about their inability to pressure the Alk in the jungle. Well, now the one guy that's really good at it is very highly leveled.
Yeah, that's true.
Watch this kill here.
Yep,
3 creeps.
Well, he does position himself. I mean, are the other creeps in range to get battery assaulted there at the end?
Oh, that was 3 melee creeps.
Yeah.
It was pretty lucky. Maybe... Again, Gunner probably kills him, but maybe not. You know, it was a really
either
nice
way.
grab.
With the levels coming out, you expect the tome for Nouns to go to a core now, because
maybe.
I mean, Husky's level 5 as well, so yeah.
Yeah.
Off to a
They're
good
both
start.
gonna be in a good spot.
I mean, both games feels like game 1 and 2, 5RAT got off to very fast starts, and this is kind of the difference. This game is an anomaly if you compare it to the other two. It's Moo gonna get a lot of his Eidolons cleaned up, but you got the Malefice coming with a couple TPs as well. The boat's not really going to connect onto anybody as Nico trying to find a safe spot in the trees, but he is completely surrounded. Even a black hole expended. My goodness, that was unnecessary. And the last right click will go to Costa Bile, but that leaves open the mid lane. Gunnar, oh, nice swashbuckle with the shield crash setup. So it looks like a potential kill going the way of 5RAT, but Gunnar turns it around.
Yeah. Only other way that would have looked better is if that was Alchemist dying top, but either way, getting 2 kills, now pressuring the tower. Since they rotate a lot of heroes, screw it, go for it. This is a good thing to do. Again, they've kept speed. He's in an okay place, but he's a little bit behind. Gunnar trying to solo kill him maybe here, but he's got to be careful. Speed actually does not have his ultimate. Didn't bother skilling it because he's like, I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, that would have been a
quite good against Gunnar, though.
Yeah, of course, Gunnar doesn't know
kill
that.
him almost certainly, but yeah, but he could damage him through his Rolling Thunder if he gets him low first or something. Pressure top is
he's close to finishing off the armlet. As they are going to try to go onto Speed. The roll from Gunnar is being avoided nicely by Speed, but he still takes a ton of damage, which leads to his untimely death. Giant does TP in the Avatos. He's played this Tiny every single game, and he's played brilliantly. It's not going to lead to a kill onto Gunnar. Instead, he is going to die. This is a 2K lead for Nouns against an Alchemist.
Yeah, it's going great. This, I mean, Sunsfan, this is what we expected to happen game 1, genuinely.
Yeah,
we expected Nouns to just outplay their opponents, and the tilt has finally trap carded or reversed. It took some time, but they're really doing a great job this game. I mean, Viper got some kills but died. You want Viper to like stomp the lane, force your opponents to leave the lane. That didn't really happen. He's now going to other lanes trying to like win those lanes. He's getting ganked there. They've killed Kunkka. The only person they haven't mega pressured is Alchemist. But if you take a look at his net worth is not beautiful either. They limited his farm using the lifesteal. They got both things successfully, right? They dodged having to worry about lifestealer being underfarmed against Viper, and they used it and the most powerful passive in the game, Ghoul Frenzy, literally to outlane Alchemist. So that's why Alka is farther behind now. So, and then the other heroes that were doing just okay, they've ganked them now. So there's just a really big net worth advantage on Lifestealer. His armlet is on the way. It's on the courier right now.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Yeah.
Nouns, if they do end up winning this game, then that will force EG to have to win their game against Quincy, who have yet to lose a singular game the entire DPC in order to force a tiebreaker. But of course, if EG end up losing that match, then Nouns will go to the major. That sounds weird to say out loud. Not gonna lie.
It's so good for them though, because if you think about how they did last DPC season, or even the first one when Costa Billy joined them, we're like, okay, this is on paper is a really good squad, and then they just kind of underwhelmed big time. And so that was disappointing. So when this season, when they started doing well, it's exciting, right? Like these storied players that have been around for a long time, been on a lot of decent teams, doing well. It's just great. Love to see them at the major, but yeah, they've got to win this series to guarantee at least a tiebreaker to get the chance to do it. And their chances would be much better if they get the series win.
In hindsight, that game 2, if they lost game 2, the tilt would have lasted probably their whole careers, if I'm being honest. That would have been a disaster.
Do you think they would have disbanded? That's a real no, that's probably a little presumptuous.
Probably not.
Just a bad one bad series.
Yeah, just a really bad day, apparently. Somebody woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but that's why you got to get a more expensive bed, like a Temper-Pedic. Actually, do not get Temper-Pedic. It's terrible. Moot gets off the Malefice into the hookshot from Z-Freak. Albino Zebra, who I'm sure is going to be their focus the entire game to start these fights, will die. Speed looks to be next. He's going to get the Viper strike off, but look at the Ghoul Frenzy, just as powerful as the Viper ult. Incredible. 2 for 0. Nouns looking very good.
Oh, it's really they're playing so much better this game. It actually relieves a lot of personal stress, I gotta say. It's tough to watch them do such a good season and play rougher, but now they're doing really good. Great rotation by Z-Freak. He doesn't use power cogs unnecessarily. They're just using all their skills at maximum value right now, just putting 5RATFORCESTAFF on the back foot once again. 2,600 gold towards Radiance now on the Alchemist. So he's getting there. But the fact that his net worth isn't keeping up to Lifestealers is a tough one here. But when you use this early farm and you make rotations, it's really paying off big time.
Yeah, Lifestealer, not only just a lead, 1,000 net worth lead at this stage of the game for a Lifestealer is not what you're going to look for. As Albino Zebra does get the Fiend's Grip off, which will lead to this kill onto Wyvern. They want to give the kill off to somebody that can actually use it, which will be Giant apparently, which he has been quite good this series as we talked about.
Yes, yeah, they just wanted to kill at this point. It's worth putting it on cooldown to get those little pickoffs here and there. Nouns once again going for tower pressure. Lifestealer so survivable when he does this. It really was one of the perfect, I gotta say, a perfect pick. Lane's okay against Viper if you really have to do it, and against Kunkka makes the hero feel kind of useless. He might have to rage TP here.
Yeah, he will attempt it, and he will be successful. Infest wasn't off cooldown anyway, but yeah, he'll live.
So basically, by him having a good laning stage, rotating into these early fights, things have been pretty solid for him. He's basically wielding his net worth in a way that helps his team get further ahead. And then he can farm aggressively like he has been because he knows, worst case, I press rage and I get out. The only way he could die was he'd have to be like gripped from out of vision, or he'd have to be nightmared without raging and then gripped, for example. But now the grip got used on Wyvern, he knew that there was like nothing they could do to him, unlikely, unless they go for some like crazy Avatos, but just super unlikely that that happens. So he's just farming at maximum efficiency while forcing waves out. Speed's going to counteract these with his Nether Toxin here. He basically knows that fighting is not super realistic here, but Z-Freak's moving over. Nah, he's not going to go for it. He couldn't get there in time. They TP and match up together.
Yep, and Nouns are smoked up. And you're right, this is a good Lifestealer game. Against 2 strength cores, you have 3 potential vehicles in the Clockwork, Pango, and Enigma. So a lot of choices for Gunnar to hop into somebody, or for the Lifestealer to hop into somebody. A 2K lead, which again, equating this for an Alchemist game, it's really impossible to say, but things are looking extremely good right now for Nouns. He's gonna get the tier 1 tower mid, and the Sage is almost complete for Costa Bile. We'll see if he ends up turning that into anything. We've seen a lot of casual Sages on this hero as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's not really very good to upgrade Sange on Lifestealer. What do you call Sage, by the way? Such a weirdo.
Sage.
The SNY is not really that needed. You don't really need movement speed that bad. The attack speed on the hero is a little bit unnecessary. You've got it from Ghoul Frenzy. So, and going Halberd, definitely a great option. Against Alchemist, I wouldn't say it's really that important. So Sange kind of gives him what he needs. A little bit of stats resistance, some nice HP, a little bit more heal.
Wait, how do you pronounce it?
And then from there, Sange and Yasha.
So why do you think it's Sange? As you can see the hook shot. Hold that thought.
Dumb.
Hold that thought. Z-Freak.
It's not dumb.
It's a nice successful hook shot. Speed will drop. And now we can continue to discuss this. Although he's still in that Nether Toxin.
Yeah.
Nico.
It's grief.
Spirit Vessel. But he's just going to run away. So it's just because it sounds stupid to you. I see. You know, there's some people that...
Do you say mechanism?
No, I say mechanism.
That's right. It's not how it's spelled.
That's
spelled
true.
mechanism.
Oh, I don't mind you saying Sange, but like the correct way to technically say it, Lifestealer says it, you know. You know what he says? He says Sanjay. It's like a name.
No way.
Yes.
I don't believe it.
Well, look it up. So I'm just calling it Sage just to be different. As Giant, Spirit Vessel still applies, Swashbuckle finishes him off, and Nouns getting everything that they want. Yep, he is silenced. The boat does connect, but the cold embrace, and still, with that threat of the curse to come through, Nouns just have every advantage going their favor, and they're just starting to snowball this game. Now, how close are we to the Radiance? It's very close, at the very least.
He's got the money, yeah. He just hasn't had a chance to go buy it just yet. So he's doing fine, but his net worth is still behind a Lifestealer, though, which is shocking to me. But that's where we're at. And the item he's going to build after the Sange is a Scotty. We'll see if he changes his mind. But the anti-healing against a Alchemist is going to be really powerful, especially if they fight before Alc gets his BKB. Because then they have to deal with Spirit Vessel and Scotty.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just not going to heal.
I like that. Very
careful pushing a waves, though. Mu once again kind of playing like he's playing Beastmaster. defend the safe lane with his summons, stand with his teammates in a place that's harder to get gone on. And that's what's happening here.
Oh, Nouns. Gonna get caught off guard here. Husky able to traverse the terrain though. Gunner's coming in. Nope. The Infest Bomb. They're gonna focus on Speed, who's in the wrong place, wrong time. So just like that, without their position 3. And that means 5RAT on the run. Giant gets caught by the Rolling Thunder, and they're gonna catch the Bane as well. Just nothing going the way of 5RAT in game number 3. Double kill for Gunner. Nico looks to be okay.
I mean, Gunner's playing perfect.
Yeah.
Every single rotation, every swashbuckle, he's hitting like 2 heroes with it. Great position for them to walk back to the cliff there and defend. A little bit spooky for 5RATFORCESTAFF to force a fight there, but they know that they have to get a kill, ideally, to be able to take the tier 1 tower. Otherwise, they're going to have to deal with this strong team fight from the Nouns side, but they got the good Nightmare off, but this little YOLO play on the Wyvern was a little bit, I don't know, very hopeful, in my opinion. Now they're just going to get ran down. It took some doing, but it was dangerous for them to fight there in the first place and also commit once the Wyvern. I guess they were scared of like a Winter's Curse as they retreated or something, but I don't know. They needed to like smoke up to that cliff and then de-ward it or put a ward down and then take a fight maybe, instead of just the approach that they did. Maybe they did smoke and it got broke. I don't remember, but maybe they just needed to walk away. That cliff is like too hard to run into.
You know what I feel like? I feel like Nouns, if they end up winning this game, they played better than 5RAT for 1.5 games out of the 3 games. But it's the latter half that matters, right? So
yeah,
that's going to feel pretty bad for 5RAT if this continues this trajectory. And again, 6K deficit with an Alchemist. So this is probably like 10K, I want to say, which at 18 minutes is massive. But
it is. Yeah, the Pango's kind of close, which is an interesting situation to be in.
I mean, the supports are really the ones that are suffering the most, right? Like, if you look at just the 2 cores from 5RAT, they're respectable. I mean, obviously, Alchemist needs to be top. Like, that's the design behind this hero. He has to be #1, or else you are losing in all likelihood.
Speed's definitely struggling big time on the Viper, though, and it's not a place you want to be on this hero. Got to be ahead, or at least you want to be ahead on the hero. Try to be like one of the top higher net worth heroes just due to your lane dominance, but he didn't really get that opportunity due to the rotations and the pressure that Z-Freak put in. He's having a really good game. He's 5-1-4 right now. He's 1,000 gold away from an Ag Scepter on a Clockwork at this point in time. That's just incredibly fast.
What the hell?
Yeah. He's not even skimped. He's got a cloak and a tranquil boots. Like, he's genuinely playing really, really well this game.
Wow, he's going to get a hook shot off, and that's going to be Albino Zebra likely to die. And Z-Freak gets another kill to his name, and Rolling Thunder catches another guy, and that is a very important kill. They actually put him high ground. Oh, now low ground. You can't decide as Nico gets cursed. They have to expend that. Oh, he almost makes it high ground again.
Oh, that was great.
They are just playing with their food. My God. That was quite the turn of events.
Okay. Man, it's amazing how strong Clockwork looks when you're ahead, though, I gotta say. It's not always easy to get there. Here he's just getting hit so many times that he got pushed high ground, and Gunner's like, oh, I can solve this problem. I gotta blink. This is what this is for. Push him back low ground.
I wish that the Cogs pushed him up. That would have been one of the best clips of all time. Now it's just it was good.
He looked very confused. Yeah, he felt it too. He's like, oh man, up and down. But yeah, the fast Orchid pickup that Kunko went for, it was a cool idea. It almost gave them that kill on Pango at that top tier 1 fight. But the problem was it did not, which delays his BKB, which means that now he doesn't feel comfortable fighting. Costa Billy's going to break smoke, not realizing it though.
Yep, okay, he does pop the Rage. There's the Viper Strike and the Grip to follow, but Moo gets off the cancellation and the Infest into Moo. So Costa Billy is A-okay. Giant now stuck in a horrible spot. Speed completely out of mana and outnumbered. So another kill goes the way of Nouns, and they just don't have, like, without the full grip, they just can't kill this guy.
Yeah. I mean, they used their spells decently well, but Moo got there in time. His Blink Dagger's ready to go, so he was able to break the Fiend's grip, and they would basically need like Alchemist there to get the kill, I think, was the only way. And they weren't quite set up. They were hoping for like a little pick off, but this is just the magic of Costa Billy being so far ahead and knowing that he can survive with Rage. He just presses Rage, he fights him a little bit, he gets a little backup, and it's an easy turn. So Guaranteed Roche now for Nouns. They do scan it.
They do, but Costabile will get the Aegis. He has the Scotty now. And as you said, Z-Freak with the overclock ability, as the score is now officially 420. Very important.
Woo. A Jenkins funny number.
That's right. Jenkins really likes that number for some reason.
He does, yeah. So maybe some mana issues for Z-Freak at the moment, but the Ags is such a good timing that he's going to be there to break the Fiend's grips and to make Viper's life a living hell, which we've certainly seen. Speed kind of desperately aiming for his BKB here, but with his 2, 7, and 0 KDA and the amount of pressure that his opponents are putting on, it's a tough game for him. He doesn't really have that much space to farm. It's kind of like Alchemist getting all the juicy stuff, and he just has to pick up the scraps, the less juicy scraps.
Yep, that's true. And this doesn't look like a game that will end up being one where DNM gets a bunch of items into an Aghanim Scepter, as the Orchid is potentially going to kill out Gunnar. The Albino Zebra, Spirit Vessel will be enough. Gunnar does get away. Curse is going to buy him some time. And Gunnar looking for the Rolling Thunders. The hookshot comes in from Z-Freak with that Aghanim Scepter. Let's see if he overclocks. He does. Second hookshot connects into the black hole. And Nouns are crushing. This is an absolute shellacking after the first 2 games. I mean, we kind of expected this at the start, but they waited until game 3 to do it.
They got into their flow. I mean, I guess game 1 tilted them a little bit. Game 2 start was rough as well. They pulled it together. In game 3, they're just playing. They're warmed up. They just wanted to scare the absolute crap out of their teammates, friends, family, organization, everyone. And I'm sure they did.
It's a good storyline though, right? It's for the drama.
Yeah, I heard Kyle was too stressed to even watch the game.
Oh, really?
And that was before he saw what was happening. So it must have been even worse.
Well, they're definitely looking good now, and we'll see if 5RAT can try to bring this game back. But it's looking very, very difficult to even see an avenue in which they could do so. This could be the start, though. I mean, Costabile is getting out of every game. Yeah, he actually goes into an Ancient Granicle. I mean, that breaks up the smoke.
Just kills Granicle.
Yeah, that is
kill him.
That is the ultimate smoke breaker right there.
Yeah. He felt it was a little bit spooky. So
I miss the old days
out,
of Radiance. By the way, I know you're gonna hate this, but I miss that.
Yeah, it was kind of a fun idea.
I miss things that make things broken for heroes
Nope.
that I like. So
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Centaur Stampede Stun, by the way, great.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. Much like, didn't that come out like the same time Tusk did? So they would just play like Tusk Centaur and they'd stun you for like 6 seconds from like 1,000 units away. That shit was not fun.
The dream.
Unless you're a Suns fan.
That's right. And that's the only time I've ever been on the leaderboard, so that's my one claim to fame. Costabile doing a lot of damage to the tier 3. Looks like he's going to back up as DNM is caught out. And the hook shot again because of the clockwork. Aghanim Scepter. DNM, that's a full duration BKB. And he is mega dead. Good attempt from him. But that just shows the value. I mean, somebody like Z-Frig that positioned for getting an Ags that early, that thing is crazy good.
And it's not just the fact that they did such a good job to get the item quick, it's that they just played mind games with their opponents. Like, Lifestealer was hitting that tower for an extra like 5 to 10 seconds more than his team was backing him up. They'd already started teleporting away. Yeah. So in 5RATFORCESTAFF's mind, they're like, oh, they're covering Lifestealer right now for sure. In reality, that would have been a good time for them to go on Lifestealer. But that allows them this like little window where they can get top faster than they expect for DNM. And that's what allows them to punish. It's the itemization and the fact that they're playing mind games with them. So yeah, if they continue doing this and sitting Costabile where he is, he sits in the enemy tri-camp, not afraid to get going on because he knows he can probably survive. Even if he didn't have Aegis, he'd be pretty safe. And then the rest of his team just bounces back around the map looking for pickoffs. So 5RATFORCESTAFF feel comfortable pushing out 1, maybe 2 creep waves, but that's it. Because they know if they keep going, they're getting ganked. So this is the mega oppressive way to play Dota right now. And Nouns is playing it extremely well. This is what you got to do to make the game feel completely oppressive and like you have no chance to defend or push creep waves.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the best fight scenario in your mind for 5RAT? Because going up against the likes of the double clockwork abilities, I mean, we can see that Enigma does have a BKB, obviously. It's the 9-second one, so Mu hasn't even gotten to use that yet. But
yeah. Gunnar has a Lincolns as well, so gripping him's going to be really hard.
yeah.
But they got to fight them spread out. It's like the only way they win fights, I think.
Oh, we got Gunnar ult. He's not going to connect initially. Speed still takes a lot of damage, though. There's the jump in from DNM, but the instant hook shot from Z-Freak. They're all grouped up. Midnight Pulse doing a lot of damage as DNM running away with that BKB activate. Looks like he's going to survive, and Gunnar is the one that's potentially getting turned on. Gets off the Yules, and a nice curse to save Gunnar. And it might be enough to take out the Kunkka as well, as Costa Bila looking to finish the job. He does so successfully, and now turning their sights onto DNM. He is dead. 2 cores with no buybacks, and that might do it, as Nouns have just turned up in game number 3 and shellacked the crap out of 5RATFORCESTAFF.
I mean, that was a great fight for 5RAT, considering the game state. They killed Enigma full to 0. They tossed him after the chilling touch, or whatever the heck it's called. The cold embrace comes out, so he doesn't get BKB off the black hole. But they were just too far behind in net worth. I mean, Viper doesn't have BKB still, so he was unable to protect himself. It's probably 1 to 2 racks here, but it's not quite over yet. Okay. Unless a lot of them die.
Yep, they get that full set in the bot lane. And I mean, this is potentially for the major, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised at the very conservative play from Nouns. Obviously, Roche won't be here for a while.
How soon does Roshan respawn?
We won't know for 1 minute and 12 seconds, Purge.
That's exactly right. Yep.
Thank you.
Got to keep you fresh. Got to quiz you on your tests.
That's right. I'm like an Alzheimer's guy. You just have to remind me every day because I'm going to forget. That's actually how I feel these days. Just losing my mind. Watching NA Dota.
This is how we're going to figure it out. The red icon means that it is the May respawn. I think it turns yellow, I believe, when it's for sure coming up.
I would say gold. You know.
Okay, sure. We can call it red, gold, and green if you want. Is that...
Sure. Why not?
No? Okay.
We can call it black and yellow. That'd be appropriate for NA. RIP.
For one team.
Yep. And like you said, 5RAT just kind of resigned to their base. Looks like they're going to leave it temporarily, but... Oh, they're going to actually try to get the toss-off onto Costa Bila, but he is just going to go ham onto Albino Zebra, who dies instantly. Black hole from Mu onto Alk, controlling him to a high degree. Pops the BKB, gets hookshot inside the cogs now. DNM attempting to TP out, but the curse will cancel it. And you can see even a jetpack equipped for Mr. Z-Freak, as DNM is mega dead. Does have buyback this time, though. And a swashbuckle. Gunner's Lincolns does get popped. Doesn't look like the tidal wave able to connect this time. And with that buyback, Nouns going to reset.
Yeah. I want to see a replay of this. I'm not 100% sure this is what happened, but when he got tossed back, I think Gunnar went for the blink Lincolns onto Lifestealer is what I think happened, because the grip popped on a Lincolns. I don't know if it was him casting on Gunnar or if Gunnar just made a super sick play, but watch for the toss back here. Tosses him back. Yeah, he did it. Blinks, puts the Lincolns on Costa Bila. Costa Bila does not get disabled. Yep. You see the Lincolns pop off of him.
Yeah, that was nice.
Very, very cool play by Gunnar. He knew what was the danger thing, and that was the toss back the carry and kill him while gripped if possible. He also could have just Yule Sceptered the Bane after he started Fiend's gripping, but hey, that was way cooler.
Oh, this might be the final fight of the game. Rolling Thunder is there for Gunnar, focusing on Bane, who still has no ultimate to use. Z-Freak gonna focus him down as well. There's a buyback available as the boat comes in. Yep, they're controlling them to a high degree, but Nouns are still staying alive. Costa Bila now just going ham. Double kill for him. DNM wants to take out Mu. Looks like he will drop. Concoction actually stuns out a couple heroes. I'm not sure if they can chase any further, but with the Blink Dagger, they'll be able to slow him a little bit. Nico, Costa Bila trying to chase him. The Rage is giving him a little extra move speed to get a couple more right clicks in, and he's taunting his way to victory. And that should do it. Surely this is GG. 27k lead for Nouns. And they can at the very least go for a second lane of Rax. They can go for Roche. The world is their oyster.
Felt like a GG moment, but they're not ready to give up just yet.
Yep, Albino Zebra, he has bought a Shadow Amulet, which is an NA special, of course. We see that in our pubs all the time, but usually it's the only thing in his inventory as GG is called. Okay. And that is a very stressful series that has been put to an end. So Nouns, as expected, Perch.
They're totally.
They're 6-1.
Just what we thought would happen.